Hey YouTube, Coppersan here. In this series we go over the evolution of games that most of us have played over the years. We already went over the evolution of MapleStory in the previous episode, and since apparently a lot of you who watch this channel also like to watch Double Lift, today we're gonna cover the evolution of League of Legends. League of Legends was officially released with a roster of 40 different champions. With League fresh out of the beta, players were eager to explore the fastest way to get a GG easy, which included compositions of 580 carries, which champions like Fiddlesticks and Amumu who had AoE spells really loved to counter. But those were then countered again by picking 5 bruisers who all built Sunfire capes. It was an exciting time, and slowly the meta continued to take shape, but most summoners just really picked and played whatever they liked. Back then the meta was defined a lot by pro players, and with Season 1 starting later in 2010, adding solo, 3v3 and 5v5 ranked queues into the game, the meta started shifting again, with champions like Amumu being played in the AD carry position. But it was quickly discovered that a ranged AD carry with support was actually way more efficient in that lane. More and more champions were added over time as well, with over 55 champions being available when Season 1 started. The map Twisted Treeline was added in 2010, offering summoners a new map to engage in battle in. And of course, let's not forget that runes were a big part of the game back then as well, providing small buffs to your champions. They could be bought in the in-game store. In 2011, the first AI bots were introduced, providing a worthy challenge back then. Actually, looking back at this video reminded me of a summoner spell called Fortify. You could use it on turrets to prevent them from taking damage and causing them to attack 100% faster. When turrets were fortified, the player who used the summoner spell would get assists and kills if the turret finished off an enemy champ, yeah? Have fun tower diving that. There also was this thing called Summoner Mastery, which played a big part in the game back then. Those were buffs that could be customized based on the player's liking before entering the game. There were 3 mastery trees called Ferocity, Cunning and Resolve, each providing their own buffs to complement your playstyle. Over the time, League continues to expand with new game modes. The game mode Dominion was released in 2011, and this new mode was an objective control mode. It was met with a lot of hype when it was released, but eventually fell off in popularity, just like some of the other games that I know. Season 2 started towards the end of 2011, and Riot was pumping out a ton of champions at that time, with champions like Volibear, Airy, Nautilus and Rengar appearing on the Rift. When Season 2 officially began, the game had 88 champions in total. The jungle got some changes around that time as well, increasing the spawn rate of smaller camps and making jungle camps skill more the longer the game goes on, and all camps started yielding a juicy buff when defeated. Soon after, in 2012, there was a big change to the stats of champions with the removal of the dodge mechanic. This stat made it possible to dodge physical attacks. Nowadays people only dodge Qs, but this dodge mechanic was deemed too RNG. Actually, Ninja Tab used to have a passive effect that increases the chance to dodge. I believe Jax was super broken with this mechanic. Another milestone was hit in 2012 with the 100 champion JayBEEF being released. I was actually reading through the patch notes of that update, and there are so many changes that are so foreign to me in the current day and age of this game. In the same update that JayBEEF was released, there was a change to Ignite so that it no longer could be used on minions, but it was still possible to ignite jungle monsters. Just ignite Drake and then Smite, you know, easy pickings. In the same year, the popular game mode All Random All Mid, or ARAM for short, was officially released, still played on the original Summoner's Rift map and later on in the Proving Grounds tutorial map. The Howling Abyss map wasn't added until a year later in 2013. To this day, this is still my favorite game mode because, you know, I can actually win if I play ARAM. As everyone was fighting for the #1 spot in solo queue, the Diamond rank was added in 2012. With Season 2 coming to an end and 2013 approaching, it was time for some big overhauls to the game. With changes to the jungle, the birth of the Black Cleaver meta. This item was ridiculously overpowered and players would just build Black Cleaver on Black Cleaver. The pre-season for 2013 was completely broken. Season 3 started in early 2013 and added the challenger rank and provisional tiers, giving players more ways to define themselves from the rest. Not that it really matters for me personally, I'm still an Iron anyway. And at this time, League of Legends had 110 champions. Riot has slowed down on the champion release since then, no longer releasing 1 or 2 champions every month. Season 3 was all about assassins. AD carries could actually carry a game, especially Draven when he still had his bleed effect, and AP Master Yi was still a thing until the second half of 2013. And earlier that year, the replay system was announced to be coming soon, but it would still take 4 years for that to actually be released. Late 2013, the first temporary game mode All for One was released as well, which continues to return every now and then. Starting the Season 4 preseason, the game received a massive overhaul, both graphically and gameplay wise. with changes to the jungle like the addition of the Width Camp, which was later replaced with that Grumpy Frog, new support items like the addition of the Relic Shield, and changes to the XP curve and the general pace of the game. Vision was a big part of the update as well, limiting the amount of wards the players could have and changing the way wards worked. In 2014, Team Builder was finally released, allowing players to pick a role they prefer to play. This was actually met with some backlash back then. In 2014, another temporary and player favorite mode was introduced, Ultra Rapid Fire mode, or for short, made its debut in this year. Season 4 was pretty much all over the place, with supports and junglers getting more gold than ever, tank runes being insanely good, and Lucian had this a balanced time where his dash was basically off cooldown for the entire time. Towards the end of 2014, the Summoner's Rift visual update entered open beta and updated League with the look that we all know and love today. The pre-season for Season 5 started as well around that time, with massive changes to the jungle, buffing camps and giving junglers a buffed smite. Cloud9's mortal enemy, the Rift Scuttler, was added in this update as well, and jungle camps provided new and unique buffs when defeated. Turrets got buffed with lasers and providing shields, and the meta usually revolved around super tanky top laners who picked smite and were basically outdoing anyone and everything in Season 5. When Season 5 in 2015 began, the game had 123 champions, and later this year the HUD UI was updated into something that looks a bit more similar to what we have today. Two new temporary modes were added during Season 5. Nemesis Draft, where players had to pick the champions for the opposing team, and Black Market Brawl, where players could collect special currencies to summon special minions during battle. Towards the end of 2015, Season 6 was starting and another big update was heading towards the Rift, introducing a ton of changes to marksman and marksman items, and introducing the Rift Herald, who at that time provided a Baron-like buff to the champion that defeated it. Runes got updated and simplified as well. Mid-Season 6 a ton more changes were made. The dragon went from elementary to elemental with new elemental dragons and the introduction of the Elder Dragon as we know it today. Mages got revamped with Malzahar, Vladimir, Zyra, Brand, Cassiopeia and Vel'Koz receiving big changes. This update also introduced the status effect Grounded, causing any champion who is grounded to not be able to flash, dash or use Thrash's Lantern for example to escape. Also this update released new hextech items, giving mages additional tools in lane to win game. The Doom bots got added, bringing joy, happiness and doom to the Rift. Masteries got another rework and your favorite random boxes, hextech chests were added and crafting got added as well. 2016 also marked the removal of the minion, which was rarely played by anyone at that time. And correct me if I'm wrong here in the comments, but it wasn't 2016 that time where we saw the first Ziggy Rod portal and ban of command strategy being used in competitive play. I remember it being very boring to watch back then. Towards the end of 2016, the pre-season for Season 7 was starting, bringing another big batch of changes. This marked the start of the Living Jungle with the addition of Blast Cones, Honey Fruit and Blooms that reveal wards and champions. The buffs gained from smiting monsters was removed this update as well. Smite now heals instead, and some other monster camps were adjusted. Stealth was changed and divided into Camouflage and Invincibility. Assassins were back in the game with the addition of Lethality and new items like Edge of Night and adjustments to other assassin items. And this was also the time that Redemption was added to the game, allowing for an AoE heal and damaging enemy champions when the item was used. 2017 reworked the Rift Herald, giving her the same look and reward that we're used to today. In this year, tanks were getting updated with bigger reworks for Maokai, Zac and Sejuani, and new tank items. Supports were getting some love as well with special quests that could be obtained from support starting items. In 2017, emotes got introduced as well, giving players a way to annoy their teammates and enemies without actually getting chat banned. And finally the client was updated, getting a new slick look but still full of bugs. And the practice tool was added to give players a chance to practice their skills before losing anyway due to an inting Yasuo on their team. In 2017, runes were fully revamped into the runes that we know and love today, give or take a few tweaks it received over the years. And Blue Essence that was added back in 2016 fully replaced influence points this year. Player levels were added and Clash first entered beta but proved to clash a lot with the game's code, causing frequent crashes. Clash wasn't fully released until 2020. It's 2018 and the Season 8 meta was interesting. Only 3 new champions were released during Season 8, Zoe, Kai'Sa and Pyke, and most of the meta-defying changes came from items. New strategies were born during the season, such as the gold funneling strategy, which usually saw supporters in mid lane funneling gold into their jungles. Taric mid and Master Yi jungle was pretty common those days, and don't get me started on the banner of command meta, I'm actually glad that item got removed. 2018 also saw new event modes like Odyssey Extraction and updates to Aram, but most importantly 2018 saw the birth of KDA, bringing K-pop and new skins to League. 2018 saw other changes on the Rift with increasing gold bounties and turret plating being introduced into the game. And this year marked the start of the extensive lore rework and expansion of the world of Runeterra. This heavier focus on lore and story continued into 2019 with more and more champions getting updated lore and additional lore released outside of the game. In Season 9, champions like Morgana, Kayle, Mordekaiser and Phantom received long overdue updates, and the laziest champion of them all, Yuumi, was added this year as well. After 2 years of being in beta, Clash was finally back in open beta again. I remember Clash crashing the EU servers a lot when it was introduced again. New ranking tiers were added, Iron and Grandmaster made their introduction. And League of Legends spawned another game mode based on the immensely popular auto battle chess games. Teamfight Tactics is released, bringing a new fun take on the auto battler to the game. This is seriously the only game mode in which I ever got gold. Towards the end of 2019, more changes were made to the Living Rift. Defeating dragons now changed the rift permanently, adding or removing walls and bushes to hide in, providing new tactics and strategies, and introducing dragon souls, making the dragons a highly contested objective, unless it was Cloud Soul of course. 2020 saw the release of Clash, Teamfight Tactics got a big update, Twisted Tree Line got removed and the Kleptomancy rune got removed as well. Players could get a ton of gold with this rune. New champions were added such as Sett, Lilia, Yone and Seraphine to name a few. Towards the end of the year, a big shop and item overhaul was released. New mythic and legendary items were introduced, shaping the game in a new way. Season 10 introduced changes to the EXP gained as well, with solo laners gaining more EXP while duo laners gain less EXP. While making this video, Season 11 is currently in full swing. We already are 17 patches deep with smaller tweaks to champions, buff to jungle camps, and the Sentinel of Light event which just finished, but we will not speak about that one, and the Coven event which is just taking place. The League of Legends meta continues to evolve as Riot switched focus from releasing and reworking a ton of champions to lore and world building as they prepare and already launched a couple of spin-off games built around the same universe. The in-game meta continues to evolve as well, with the current meta being something like lol, imagine being an AD carry in 2021. And that was all I had on the evolution of League of Legends. I hope you enjoyed this video. Make sure to subscribe for more videos like this. I mostly post MapleStory videos, but if a video like this gets enough traction, I'll make sure to continue working on these type of videos as well. And as always, many thanks to our members for making this video possible. Thanks to Niels de Coninck, Raar maar waar, Sebastian Hanoy, FLX, Ryalias, Terry Kim, Vareese, Dries Zumker, Wiley, Francisco Sousa, Historycanon, BackSpaceOTI, ceemak, Saffronyx, Lorenzo, BG Extremes, Anwar NHI, Brendon, Frank Bouquit, Ziggy Deer, Flidiot, Beamer WT, Knifesu, Chen125, Cloudfix, Gusus Rodriguez, Sir QQ Morse, Froggy11, Sir Tito655, Grayson Lee, Riser RU, Brandon Cam, Vira, Bruno H, Trevor, Yuki436, Afterlord_MS, Sinfolido, Ratius, John Man, Lucky Beats, Justin Vale, Silvio Nato, Stevie Zhang, Yaruski TV, Soli Shinauda, Heopan, and Tuzira. If you'd like to be mentioned here as well and get early access to new videos, make sure to check out that join button below this video. Thank you all so much for watching, stay safe and happy gaming!